Welcome to this album and gallery video, and welcome to William Stewart. Great to have you here, William.
Yeah, thanks, Stefan. Nice to be here.
William's work is now exhibited at Album and Gallery, and we're very excited to work with you. And William's agreed to talk to us a little bit about his work. So one of the questions I want to put to you is that I've always been incredibly impressed by your use of colour and very intensive, very moving colours. Tell me, what does colour mean to you in your work?
So it's a very important part of my work, as you said. My inspiration for it is from Van Gogh, from Matisse, from Georges Braque, some of the work, you know, the post-impressionist Fauves from early turn of the 20th century. And the way they use colour is that they have a different idea of it, but they also tend to exaggerate, to bring out what's already there. You know, particularly Van Gogh. You know, you look at some of the yellows and the blues, and they're very exaggerated, but they're colours that are there, and so they're vivid, they're alive, they're interesting, and they're interpretive, and they're emotional in some way. And I think for me that's what I try to do. I'm not like really bringing, you know, putting new colours in and spending a lot of time in Photoshop doing that. I do spend a lot of time processing, but they're more exaggerating the colours, bringing them out and trying to make some different scheme. And even colours that look a little unrealistic, they are colours that are there, like the waters in the Venice, for instance, in some of the canal shots. They're not like that, you know, if you just look at them. But if you actually look carefully, you will see those greens and aquas and stuff in the water there, even in the night shots. So that, to me, is what I try to do, is to bring these features out that are in the photos. So.
But that is not to say that we don't equally like your black and white work, and very striking images, very strong use of the sort of black and white color palette in a sense. So how does that work? I mean, is it the image that really decides whether it's a black and white photo or not, or is it driven by how you feel on the day?
It's not really. Most of the time I don't deliberately go out and shoot black and white. Occasionally I do. To me it's more dictated by the image that I see as it's there, that the composition maybe lends itself more to black and white. And the way I work with black and white, it's some way similar to how I work with colour, except that my palette then is around the contrast between light and shadow rather than, you know, the different colours. But it's actually a continuity for me. I do feel like it's not really a different thing so much. It is something that I work with in much the same way. I think I have the same eye about it when I'm doing the work. And, you know, I try to preserve detail both in the highlights and the shadows, so I'm not really looking at such contrast where you've got like huge shadow areas and just a little bit of light or whatever. I like those images, but I actually do like to preserve the detail there just the same as I like to preserve the nuances in the colours, even though they're quite vivid. So. Yeah.
Some of my personal favourites in your body of work are landscapes, and in fact both, you know, and I've seen some colour, some black and white work, landscapes done in a very particular striking pano format, which makes me wonder, format, you know, by itself, how important is that?
Yeah, the panorama is an interesting thing. It's something I've always been interested in. To me it's a very interesting style of cropping and presenting photographic images, and it actually goes back a long way. I've seen panoramic photos that were taken in Istanbul in Turkey, and they're, you know, 12 images sort of just taped together, basically. But you get this huge panorama of the main centre of Istanbul. And I think that's how you see these places. When you go to some of these vistas and you look at these views that you have, you don't really see all of the sky and all of the foreground. Your mind sort of focuses on that area, that sort of strip in the middle, that is really what you're looking at. And so if you've got a square or 3x2 sort of crop, it doesn't communicate that to me. It's too much sky, too much foreground. I want that sort of stretched out cropping that you get with the panorama. And so and it's an interaction that's quite interesting between the photographer and the viewer, because you can't take the whole panorama in. You've got to kind of look at it, and you've got to sweep just like you would when you're looking at that particular scene. And so it's a conversation almost in the way that I decide to present the image like that, and then as a viewer it's somehow, to me, it captures that kind of...
Can we look forward to more of that?
Yeah, I think I enjoy panoramas, yeah.
Listen, thank you very much for taking the time. I know you're en route to Australia, and do give us a shout and pop in next time you're in London.